Welcome. Welcome, Digital Trailblazers. It's Leah Ray Getz, and I am super excited to share with you guys some awesome stuff that I've been able to absorb and really just reflect on over the last several days after meeting, just being blessed. I have to first thank Shannon Lavinia for inviting me to this mastermind that I went to last week, and the room was filled with 7 and 8 figure earners in the online space. And so it was phenomenal. We had an amazing time and met some amazing people. And I really wanted to give you guys the opportunity to learn, even if you weren't there, even if you didn't see, weren't able to be in the room. I wanted to pass on as much as I could to you to help you on your journey. So as you jump on, say hello. Let me know you are here. Hey, Mike, good to see you, Mike. Awesome. So first, if you had the opportunity to jump into a mastermind, like you were invited to something tomorrow, it happened to work out, it happened to be free or in your town or something really easy, would you jump on into that? Like, would you drop a 1 if you think it would be helpful for you to go to a mastermind filled with 7 and 8 figure earners? Okay, let me know. Kate, good to see you. Jacelyn, oh, good to meet you, Jacelyn. Awesome. 1 from a Kate. Okay, drop it. We got a lot more people watching than commenting. That's not the fun way to do this, guys. Let's make it fun so we can all have a good time. And you can give back to me. I can give back more to you. So awesome. Let's get to the good stuff, because I think it was like 12 different items that I wrote down for you. And these are really, really valuable information, clearly, because it came from so many amazing people who are doing awesome things in the online space. So I think one of the biggest takeaways that I left with, and something that I want to impress upon you. So I'm going to give you like detailed tips and nuggets that I wrote down in my notes that I thought was really beneficial and insightful and helpful. But I also want to really impress upon you this piece first, is once you have a really solid foundation in your business. So you've got the offer fully created, you've got your funnels and stuff set up, you're able to drive some traffic, make some sales, even if you're not where you want to be, but you got the foundation laid, then it's a really good time to get moving, get into a mastermind. Now, the good masterminds, or the really cool ones, they do have income requirements. Like you have to be making $1 million a year or $500,000 a year or something like that in order to get into them. And so you'll have to find one that kind of fits where you are. But surrounding yourself with these folks can have a massive effect on your bottom line and your success in your business. I'm actually reading right now Napoleon Hill's Law of Success. And I'm on the chapter all about the mastermind, which was funny because this is exactly what I went to. And it's talking about the power of being around people who can just feed into each other and create this really powerful entity. And for all the Christians out there, right, there's the whole like, we're one or two, when 2 of you get together in my name, I am there, that sort of thing. So I totally butchered that scripture. So don't hold it against me. But getting together has so much power behind it. There are, not only you're going to learn nuggets that you can take away and apply to your business in a mastermind, but more importantly, you're able to create connections with other people that can lead to referrals and many more opportunities. Todd and I we made many connections. A lot of people are going to be on our podcast. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff with some people. We're going to do some collaborations. And one of those collaborations could be a multi-million-dollar deal for us that we would never get if we hadn't been there, if we hadn't had these conversations. So find an opportunity like this however you can. Okay. So who's ready for the nuggets for the actual let me count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, 10. Perfect. So drop a 10 if you're ready for the actual details of what I wrote down, the biggest top 10 takeaways, nuggets that I took from 3 days in a room, locked in a room, not locked, but stuck in a room, right, with 7 and 8 figure earners, because that's what this is. Hey D, oh, good to see you. Awesome. All right, perfect, Christy. Perfect. Okay, so okay, awesome. All right, perfect. Now, and again, disclaimer, this brought not disclaimer, but this is brought to you by, right? Now, if you feel like you need help with any of this stuff or creating that foundation or getting your solid stuff set up, your offer, anything, that's what we do. Just type in info, we'll chat and see how we can help you, just to throw that out there right now. And if you haven't been a guest on our podcast, put in guest in the comments and we'll have that conversation about having you on. So those two quick things, and it is a free podcast. You don't have to pay to be on it. So, all right, let's dive in. We're going to start at the top of the list. So, number 10, I'll have to do it number 1 because I didn't label them on my notes. I'm going to get them confused. I guarantee it. But once you have your high ticket offer converting, okay, you're able to drive traffic. You're able to convert that cold traffic into a sale. Once you're able to do that, the next stage of the next step is to really work on your low ticket offer, self-liquidating offer, hopefully, to get buyer leads, to really up your game. Now, this is a higher learning curve. This is a steeper learning curve to make this happen. This isn't news to me, but it is definitely reinforcing things that we already knew, right? Some of the stuff for Todd and I, but I know that it's going to be beneficial for some of you guys listening. So if you're at the point where you're doing, you're at 6 figures, you're doing 10,000 a month, you've got a high ticket offer, it's converting, you're doing well. Okay, great. Now is the time to start working on maybe a self-liquidating offer, something low ticket that you can play with and drive traffic. Now, the key to doing this isn't like, you can't just abandon what you're doing that's working and start working on a low ticket offer. You need to continue. So you have to have something that is working, right? That's paying your bills, that's taking care of your team, whatever you need. And now that's stable. Now you can play around with your low ticket offer, because the reality is it might take you a very long time to get a low ticket offer that's converting well and is self-liquidating, or it pays for itself in ads, meaning that you're putting out ad spend, but it's actually coming back. It's not really costing. You're recouping your ad spend from that initial purchase. It's hard to do depending on your niche. It is doable in some spaces. Some people spend hundreds of dollars to get a low ticket sale, but they can do that because they have a really good high ticket conversions into their high ticket. But what I don't want you to start with this, because it is harder to do. And I was talking with someone who makes $30 million a year in their business, and their low ticket offer that's really converting, it took them a year to get that going, to really finesse it and tweak it and adjust it and do all the things that they needed to do to get that really where they wanted it to be. So that's why it's a second level thing, right? It's not something that you do in the beginning of your business, but it is great when you can add that in later on once you have that level of success. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Drop I'm mind blown. Yeah, I mean, just this part, because I want to repeat this in case you missed it. A man who is making $30 million a year in the online space here, doing info marketing, right? Info products. It took him a year to dial in his low ticket offer. So if you think that you're a brand new coach and you're going to start low ticket, that's hard. Hence an 8-figure earner struggling and taking a year to get it dialed in. Yeah, exactly, D. So don't start there, but write this down, kind of put it on the shelf for later. It is something that you should do, okay, later on once you're ready for it. Now, Another kind of thing that a nugget that one person dropped that I wrote down that I thought this was good. So this would be number 2 if you're taking notes, and I appreciate the note taking there in the comments. Thank you very much. Number 2, if you are doing a VSL funnel. Let me just describe what this is. Now, remember, this is 7 and 8 figure earners. So they're using all the very complex terms. So I'm going to try to break this down for you guys. But a video sales letter. This is a video video, like an ad, like a Facebook ad that that goes to a video where people sign up for a sales call, basically, right? Ad, VSL, video sales letter, and then a sales call. And so that's the funnel and the process. Now, these are getting harder and harder to make work. And that has been confirmed in the room that we were in, that's kind of across the board. However, one person who was doing really well with their book a call funnel, their VSL funnel, was someone who was saying they weren't sending them to their call to action on the VSL. So what they were told to do. So it wasn't like a booking link to go to their calendar or even a questionnaire that had to be filled out before they got to the calendar. Instead, it was text me now. Text me now. And so the person would say, appointment or like whatever the keyword is, they would text it to them. And their team was set up with a system like Go High Level or something that can do text messaging back and forth. And so they were receiving these text messages and they're immediately having a conversation with them. And I think some of it might have been automated to get started. And it's essentially, people would typically have a questionnaire up front, like what are your goals? What's your budget to get help with this? What's your biggest struggle? Like different things like that would typically be in that questionnaire. And so instead of having a questionnaire, they say, text me. And then when they text them, they were replying and asking those questions, getting that back and forth. And they found a massive increase in the show up rates on those sales calls. So because that's the biggest problem with that funnel. If you have an ad to a VSL to a sales call, the show up rates are abysmal, like 10, 20%, they're just really bad, typically. And so when he switched and started doing it this way, he was able to get really I didn't write it down, so I don't have it. I can't say specifically, but I want to say my memory says it was about 70% show up rate for everybody they were able to communicate in text message with. Right. So they asked the questionnaire questions in text message, then they got them on the sales call from there. So they did the questionnaire and the booking through text message instead of through the, book a call link, essentially. Okay. Yeah. OD. Isn't that crazy? It makes sense, right? Because you're engaging back and forth with you. So they're more bought in. And then you also become a real person to them versus just some video they saw online. And so that rapport and stuff really helps. And so much higher show up rates. So that's awesome. Another theme that I definitely heard throughout the mastermind was FTC compliance. So this is hitting our industry and is something that if you're curious about, go follow or check out some of the content that Anik Singhal is putting out, ANIK, about this. He went through a massive FTC investigation, and him and his lawyer have kind of partnered and are putting together content and resources to help people learn how to avoid problems, because it was, I think they hit him at first with like a $250 million fine or something ridiculous. And then he was able to work with them and got it down. But it's a really big thing. And it's not just the big dogs that are getting hit with it. So if you're just getting started and you haven't made a sale yet, I don't want to add that stress level to you. But if you're humming along and you're consistently making sales, now is the time to look at what the requirements are to be safe and just to set this up securely and good. And also because, ladies and gentlemen, we've kind of been in the Wild West of era of online business and coaching and everything else. And so let's clean it up a little bit as to the level that to the standards, and some of it makes sense. Honestly, some of it doesn't, what they want us to do, but let's work to kind of move into more of a modern era where it's a little calmer waters, where it's a little more stable, and can increase, I think, the credibility of the industry, which will be good. Yes. Okay. Now, that was number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was number 3. So number 4, I read first. And has anybody heard of the FTC issues that are going on right now? I'm curious. Type it. Use the bomb emoji. If you've heard of them, because it does like really explode your business. It just blows it all up. Dee's heard of it. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, yep. Some people are hearing about it. It's definitely out there, and it's happening to not just giant people, but mid-level people and lower level people. So, yeah, something to be aware of. So, okay, number 4. What was interesting, Todd and I have been in this for 8 years. And in internet world, 8 years is a long time. Like, the internet's so fast, right? So 8 years, like, we're kind of in the older generation. We're not like COVID and above and stuff, right? Just getting started. So we've been around for quite a while, but several people in that room had been in this space for like 20 years, like from when the space was in its total infancy. And so it was really interesting to get their take on what it means, like how to create longevity. So how many of you would like your business to last the next 10 years? Like the work and the effort and everything that you're putting into this right now, that you want it, like even just 10 years down the road. Like, raise your hand, put a hand up emoji. If that's you, if you want a long term, like this isn't just like a 3-year plan for you. This is like a 10-year plan for you, that you want all of this work to really pay off. D, absolutely. Okay, good. So that's in order to create that type of longevity, because even, I mean, we've seen tons of people come and go, even people who had success come and go. Right. It's not just the people who burn out because they didn't create any success, right? It's a lot more people than it's a lot of people. If you want to create longevity, one of the biggest factors is agility. Agility. That's the ability to pivot with the market and to focus as you need to, but also to read the market and the changes in the market and to pivot when needed, and not to be too stubborn and stuck in your ways. Because if you're too stubborn, you're going to get left behind. And because the one consistency in internet marketing, it's the internet. The internet is always changing. So internet marketing will always be changing, and you need to be up to it, up to the challenge of always learning, always adjusting, always tweaking. And if you aren't, this will be a very short-term business for you. Like, you may get it going, you may create some good results, but it's not going to have the longevity to keep you through. Mike, I want to teach my sister's family how to do all this as well. Oh, good. Well, bring them in, have them as sort of like if you've got nieces or nephews or different things, I would totally have them in as like apprentices, right? Learning from you, giving them little tasks and teaching. Even my 10-year-old, just the other day, he was sitting here with me and I was explaining to him what I was doing as I was doing it. And he's fascinated by all of it and wants to take over the business someday and everything else. So yes, absolutely. Okay. So that's number 4. Number 5, and this is one that we definitely knew, but it's good to hear other people saying it as well, is that webinars are not dead. Webinars are not dead. Webinars are still very much alive. But as with everything, it does change. So the response and everything to webinars has changed over the years. One of the biggest things to make sure webinars are going to work for you, if you're going to sell on a webinar, is that it really needs to be a juicy, hot topic. It can't just be something that someone's heard before. It's got to be an interesting, top of mind, hot topic to really work well for a sales webinar. So write that down. That's another gold nugget that you should know. Okay. As you're working on your webinars or different sales mechanisms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. This was kind of smart. you should be doing this, right? You should be doing this. Number 6 is, okay, you should all have an email list, right? So we teach that. That's if you don't know how to do that or how to work that or how to set up these foundations, again, type in chat. We'll chat and see how we can help you out with this. But with your email list, you should have it segmented. So we actually saw someone who had like the most complicated funnel ever. It was immense what her team had put together. But it was interesting. Essentially, when she generated a lead, someone opted into something, she had a full month of going through her offers with them, right? Or like 3 weeks, where they're getting fully indoctrinated to her, a warm up nurture process, and they're getting offers from her. So her first 3 weeks of her sales of her new lead is about warming them up and then selling her stuff. And then she separated in whatever software you're doing, you can absolutely do this. She segmented or separated her list so that once they're past the 3-week mark, if they haven't bought, or if they already bought and they've bought everything, right? Or they've gone through the funnel, then they're moved into a different segment of the list. And that's the list that she's sending affiliate offers to regularly. So if you've got buyers, one of the biggest mistakes you can make, and something that Todd and I made this mistake at one point at the beginning of our journey, is have a buyer's list and not to keep offering them things, because they cool off fast, but they're people who buy stuff are usually willing to buy more and more stuff. But there's like but they cool off. And so you want to, if they're not buying your stuff, or if they bought your stuff, they're moving on, get them into another part of your list where you're going to offer them affiliate things instead. So just kind of have it segmented though, so that you're not promoting affiliate stuff to people who haven't fully checked out your offer yet. You want that to be fully exhausted, and then move them into another list where you can send them affiliate offers. Okay. I'm curious, has anyone done that one yet? I thought some people might be doing that already. Put a pointer up, I guess, emoji if you've actually done that process. I'm curious. Thank you, Dee. I love the notes. Okay. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7 is really, that's good, Dee. That's good. Number 7 is JV partners and referrals. How crazy important this is. So this is really why a big part of why masterminds you should be doing a mastermind. At least you should be going to networking events and different things like that. But JV partners would be someone who has a list, an audience who fits your target audience and would be interested in your offer. And then you have them email them about your webinar, invite them to your sales webinar, or do a webinar with them live, or if you just have them email to a VSL or a sales, whatever. Like there's a lot of different ways you can do those JV partnerships, and they can be reciprocal where you're both doing it, or it can just be one way. Like if it's an affiliate thing, they're going to get paid for those sales. So you're not obligated to, promote their stuff instead, right? Or in reciprocation, because if it doesn't make sense for your audience, or it's just not a good offer for them. But those partnerships, there are people making millions of dollars a year who don't really have their own stuff going on. They're only relying on other people's audiences. So that is a very big opportunity. Now, again, all of the stuff that we're talking about tonight, you have to layer in after you have your foundations. If you can't convert leads into sales, well, no one's going to want to be your partner. They're not going to take up their energy of writing that to their list, to promoting something, if they don't know that you can actually convert them into sales. Like that has to be proven. So again, you need that really good foundation. If you need help with the foundation, come in info, we'll chat, see how we can help you with this. Now, so the next piece then is the referrals, right? And so be really organized about referrals, like have a file or have a tag in your contacts for referral partners. And these are people, whenever you connect with someone, ask them, who's your perfect audience? Who should I send to you for as a client, right? Get that information and then give yours. And then keep these relationships up. Like randomly, don't just reach out when you need something to people, but send them referrals, send them whenever they pop into your mind, send them a quick message. Keep that relationship warm, because they're going to meet other people who may do what you do, and you want to have that friendship and that relationship built, that they're going to send them to you instead. So really getting very, very organized about referrals. That's a huge opportunity. Number 8. And this is something that Todd and I do and preach, but it was good to hear it from others as well. So number 8 is using a group funnel. This is something that we teach. And that's essentially where you're using your Facebook group very strategically to book sales calls. Group funnels work best when there's a combination of both organic or free traffic and paid traffic. So free traffic from within Facebook, I'm doing some action within Facebook, and from paid traffic, like a Facebook ad. So, for a lot of people, they've got these groups and they say they're dead, and it's because no one's joining, and it's because they have no traffic. So there's organic or free ways to do that, but free by itself is going to typically be generally slow. But by adding in the paid, it's a really good combination to heat those groups up. So, yes, drop another hand for me if you have a group and you're doing a group funnel, and do a double hand if you're using paid ads and free to build it, because that would be interesting to see who all's following what we teach and making that happen, because that's super important. Traffic. Oh, good, D. Yes, I know. D's like a really good student. She does what she does the do. Like you lay it out until she'll follow through. So that's awesome. Number 9, I really found was interesting. It's not something that I was aware of at all. So we actually had some people from various different industries who were there and doing some cool stuff. But one of them specialized in selling businesses. And that's something that people talk about. Like, can I sell my business? Anything else? Agencies are sellable. So if you have, hopefully you can't hear my crazy children making noise right now outside. They're outside, but they are loud. Agencies. So if you've got like a marketing agency, a Facebook ads agency, something like that, those are sellable. You want to make sure that you have really good retention rate for your customers. So we can, but love it. Okay. It's happy sounds. They're not fighting yet. Usually goes from happy sounds to fighting, but right now we're in the happy sound phases. But so agencies are sellable. But what really surprised me is that newsletters are very hot right now for selling. Now, this isn't like your regular email list. This is a specific newsletter that you're building that isn't branded to you. It's like branded by itself. So like if Todd and I were to do it, it wouldn't be, my regular email list. This would be like Digital Trailblazers newsletter, like Digital Trailblazer newsletter, or even like Marketing Mondays newsletter. Like on Mondays, I would drop, the newsletter goes out and it's structured like a newsletter, like with the graphics and everything that you would expect. And you have different things, articles on there, links to different websites, all kinds of different stuff on there. Those newsletters are being eaten up by investors right now. So if you work to build up something like that and you get a really big list going and it's got good reach, people are actually opening your newsletter, all of that kind of stuff. That's actually an asset you can build to sell. So I find that interesting, an interesting thing that could go well. So I wanted to drop that. How many here have heard of that? Like raise your hand if you've heard of the newsletter thing, like that you can sell newsletters, because I found that fascinating. I never thought of that, but it's something that like these big organizations that acquire people's businesses, they're actively seeking this right now. So I find that really, really interesting. So that was a new one for me. I didn't know that one. I've not. Sounds good though, doesn't it, John? Yeah, I thought that was cool. So if you are like more advanced in your marketing, you're ready to take on a kind of a side project, maybe take your topic of what you talk about and make an independent newsletter for that. Um, yeah, so I thought that was really cool. So the geez, these kids are so loud. Um, number 10, how many people have VAs that are going into their account to prospect or message people? It's okay. You can type in me. Just type in me. I'm not going to judge you for this at all. Um, yeah, so sweet. So a lot of people, a lot of coaches in particular, have hired VAs who log into their Facebook accounts and message people within Facebook for them. Okay. So yeah, yeah, it's very, very common. Obviously, we all know this doesn't go isn't allowed according to Facebook's rules, right? So you have to be very, very careful. Now, I'm not advising people to do this, but if you are going to do this, then some people are using what you normally hear about is a VPN, which is a virtual something network, right? So a VPN. So say we live in Southwest Florida. So if we had a person in the Philippines who is going to message people from us, we would give them access to a VPN, a virtual network, where it shows up that they're in Southwest Florida whenever they're doing this. Okay. That's typically how people try to protect this, because if Facebook sees you logging in Southwest Florida and then they see someone else logging in the Philippines, they're going to lock your account out, right? You're going to potentially lose your account. So people typically set it up with a VPN and that's how they work. So now I heard of a different term that works better apparently, and this is a VPN. Okay, so a virtual personal server, not a VPS. Yeah, a VPS, not a VPN. So if you do this, I want you to search for VPS and see if that's something that you can set up for yourself, because apparently it's safer than VPNs. Okay, so that's really technical, and I hope I didn't scare anybody off with that. Yeah, you can add them to your page. Pages, you can have multiple people on your pages. It's your personal profiles is where you get in trouble. So if you do, or if you plan to do this in the future, hiring a VA or someone, an appointment setter to message people, then definitely use a VPS and not a VPN. So virtual server versus a virtual network. Somebody knows what the P is. I can't remember. Personal maybe, virtual personal server, virtual personal network. So you want the server. VPS to run application 24/7 without impacting my computer. Good. No, that's good, Mike. Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than I wrote it down because it sounded interesting. Because I know that this is definitely a topic that I've talked to clients about and everything else. I'll be honest, I don't let anyone into my personal profile. And that's a personal decision. It's whatever level of risk you're able to tolerate. And to me, it's just too valuable. Like I've got too much data on my personal account. I've got so many memories and things I joined in, I guess, 10 years ago or 14 years ago or whatever. Yeah, 14 years ago. And so I've got a lot of stuff on there. I have a ton of relationships and a ton of followers. Like I've got like 7,000 followers or something on my personal profile. So with all of that, I don't want to risk it. Like to me, the potential loss is too high. So, getting them on a business page instead, if we were going to do that sort of thing, or like on your Instagram or something like that, to me, I would do that, but I wouldn't do it on my personal. I do feel like it's weird. Like if they pretend to be you, that's weird to me. But if you're like, hey, this is Gracie, Dee's assistant. She's really excited that you here you go, blah, blah, blah. Like, and says it, but says that she's your VA. I think that's the way to handle that and for real versus the pretending to be you thing, which I think is creepy. But yeah. I want to get my hands on your business page. Yeah, like yeah, our business page could use some work. Um, okay, so I want what questions do you have? Like so much cloning going on, so be safe. Yeah, absolutely, Mike, 100%. So which of these to you is the biggest takeaway for your business? Like what do you feel like is the biggest nugget that will apply whether now or later for you and your business? Um, I deal with energy and people know when it's not me. Yeah, absolutely, D. 100%. Like, yeah, it just feels weird, like pretending to be you. I'm not cool with that. But everyone has their own tolerances, so no judge, no nothing on anybody who's who does do that. But for me, it's not something that I want to do. Um, but yes, so curious, which of these 10 tips is most applicable to your business now or in the future that you want to apply? And like what masterminds have you heard of? Like I'm totally cool with kind of chatting through the ones and getting people's feedback. Like let's throw out some names and see if they make sense. Was it a good one? Was it one we're skipping, or would it be better for this type of person? Throw out any of those masterminds that you've been a part of, and let the group know. We kind of go back and forth on that. Mike says, I think of the text. Mike says email segmentation with low ticket offers. I'm working on that. Yep. I think that's good. D says 2 and 5 were huge for her. So 2 was the text me now, and 5 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Having a really hot topic for your webinar. So really top of mind, like something like AI. If you can have anything around AI right now, obviously that's really hot. So if something that's hot, new, interesting, absolutely. I think the text me in the VSL funnel. Yeah, I think that's cool. For sure, that was a cool one that we heard from someone. So mastermind. So the mastermind that I was, and that it's not fizzling out webinars for sure. The mastermind that I was in last week was actually it's Anik Singh's mastermind board of experts, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it. It does have you have to be at least $500,000 a year, I think, to be in it. So you got to be more advanced to get into there. And yeah, it was really good. So I do suggest that one when you're ready at that level. I'm trying to think of what other masterminds I've been in. I've been in more informal masterminds. D, Mike, what masterminds have you been in? Put some names out there. Say if they've been helpful. Kate, have you been in a mastermind? Which ones have been awesome? Which ones have not been so awesome? Not worth it, or would fit for a better type of person, I'm quite like, I'd love to get a little, just some insights and tips for folks who are looking or ready for that next step with a mastermind. I'm going to get there this year. I refuse to fail any longer. Yes, D, please. Well, you have to get an invite, I think, to the board of experts. So when you get there, let me know, and we can make that invite for you. Awesome. I've been into Adrian Hill's masterminds. Oh, good. Were those really helpful for you? I'm curious, Mike, how would you, we love Adrian Hill, so I assume good. Been elbow deep in shifting things for growth. Haven't intended anything. Yeah. You gotta, sometimes you just have to buckle down and work it, absolutely. But find one that fits for your area. Even if you don't have any even budget to do this kind of thing, get into a mastermind, or you're not there yet, do something simple, like find a meetup group or a networking group that you can attend regularly with the same people, Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club, like where there's business people there. I think that would be awesome. Just start to really build and nurture those relationships. So now, ladies and gentlemen, that's been me the last 3 weeks diving in. Oh, good. If you don't If you're not there yet, you don't have your foundations where you're not ready to layer in all of these higher level things, come at me. Let's chat. We help you with this. You don't have to struggle with it anymore. We can actually lay out and walk with you through all of it. Right? Hold your hand through this process, walk with you through all of this. This is our expertise. This is what we do. So comment info. We can chat and see how we can help you out with this. Chamber of Commerce for meters. Yep, absolutely. And just call once a day. That's good. That's good. I love that. And then if you haven't been on our podcast, type podcast or no, type guest. I guess that's what I put in the comments. Type guest, and we'll get you the link. Or we'll get you the link to actually fill out to be on our podcast. If you're on YouTube watching this or LinkedIn, the link is already in the description of the video. So you can just click on that right away and even book a call. See, John, I'm new to all this. Okay, John, let's talk. We'll see how we can help you with this. This isn't a sales call. This is a high call. We don't pitch anything on these initial calls. There's a link in the description of the video, John, on YouTube. Just click on that and we can set up a time to chat. I haven't, but I'd like to see it. Yes. So, yes, Kenosha. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I hope. If you want to be on it, type in podcast specifically, and my team will follow up and actually give you a link to put your information in. And if you just want to listen to it, so we have a few different podcasts. I'll kind of promote the main one here first, which is our Digital Trailblazer podcast. We have some of the coolest guests on there, and I have some amazing guests actually lined up for it. So, and amazing guests that we've already had. So if the kind of stuff that I went through with you tonight, if you find this valuable, you will love the Digital Trailblazer podcast, because that's all that it is. Like, we're digging deep into people's businesses, what's working, and giving you all kinds of nuggets from what's working. So it's really, really good. Yes. So that's our main one. Now, keep in mind, the people who are hosts that we bring on as guests to that main podcast, Digital Trailblazer podcast, it's typically, it's always at least 6-figure earners, but oftentimes 7-figure earners or 8-figure earners that come onto that stage specifically. Because the goal of that is to share like their marketing secrets and like what's working to make sales and everything else. So obviously that's important that they actually have real results, right? So that one is really the type of business or the type of coach or course creator is really wide open, but it's they have to be really successful. So, or have a level of success already. But we have several others that we can plug you into if that would potentially fit better. If you focus on business growth or health and wellness or anything like that, we have options for that as well. We just want to make sure to give you an audience and get you in front of an audience that can really resonate with your message and what you do. So, there is a summit soon. Are you speaking on that one? Oh, Adrian's Summit. Adrian's Summit, I think I'm passed on this one. I'm in a lot of her summits. But I'm doing another summit. If you guys haven't registered, it starts, I think it's live today. Yes. So I am in Natalie's summit. So Natalie, I actually met through Adrian, funny enough. And Natalie it's all sales. It's a sales summit. So it's talking everything about sales. So if you got to up your sales game, in our group or anywhere, where we're putting content today, we have a link to get registered for, it was in the email. It was in our email there. I know it was there for sure, because I don't want to lead you in the wrong place. You can type summit if you want, and we'll find the link and we'll post it for you. We'll reply with it. But it's a really cool summit. She's got a lot of, I think she said 40. Yeah, she's got 40 speakers on this summit. So tons and tons and tons of value. So if you want to get a free seat to Natalie's summit, type in summit, and we can follow up and get you that link as well. So John, I look forward to meeting with you. Grab the link, just click on that, fill that out, and then we can chat and see how we can help you out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next week, I think my plan is to do creating an irresistible offer. And does that sound like a good juice? Does that feel juicy enough for you? Like how to actually put together an offer that will sell, not just an offer that you pour your heart and soul into and nobody buys, right? let me know if that sounds like a good topic for next Monday. I'll be back next Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific time to serve you guys. So have a blessed week. I look forward to seeing you again. Comment info to chat, see how we can help you out, and comment or guest to be on our podcast or summit if you want to check out the summit. So have a blessed night. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.